I love Dungeon Road.
Heading to Dungeon Rock now, baby!
So, the legend of Dungeon Rock actually starts with a pirate by the name of who?
Thomas Veal, I think?
Thomas Veal. Supposedly in the mid-1600s, his ship arrived in Lynn Bay. He took off with some treasure and escaped into these woods. Just sort of scrambled up here and found a cave in which to reside with his treasure.
Some versions of the story, there was a couple other pirates with him.
So at least a pirate, possibly more, scrambled up here, found a cave, and lived in it. I'm going to assume they did not have these lovely steps carved in stone. So this is the entrance, and the story goes that after the pirate settled in here, into this general area, there was a naturally formed cave, and the pirate settled here. An earthquake caused the rocks to fall and seal him and presumably the treasure inside. In the, what, 1820s?
No, that would have been 1600s.
Well, that was 1600s, but in the 1820s, someone wrote a book.
Yes.
Detailing this experience, the location, sort of, and everything, which got the attention of one guy who purchased the land and wrote on a piece of paper to Thomas Veal, and wrote on a piece of paper to Thomas Veal, "Hey, where's your treasure?"
That was Hiram Marble.
Hiram Marble?
Yes.
Like the Marblehead type of marble?
I mean, yeah, it's like that kind
Maybe.
of
Who
marble.
knows? Bought the land, went to a medium, and said, what? Where? Tell me, commune with Thomas Veal, tell me where his treasure is. The medium said, come here. So they blasted and started a cave, and Hiram and his son basically just started digging. And they figured, if the treasure is over there, then we will dig parallel and go down, and then we'll cut to the left and we'll get the treasure. He did this with mediums, kind of leading the way. He crowdfunded a great deal of it.
Yeah, he originally had about $1,500 in that time period. Burned through all of that doing the digging.
This was mid-1800s.
Right. And then basically set it up as sort of like a tourist attraction where he'd say, like, you could, if you gave him a quarter, you could go down and see the part that he dug out. Or you could buy bonds with the idea of once he actually found the treasure, then you were, you had a stake in some percentage of that. Obviously, they never found the treasure.
They didn't. And honestly, one of the main reasons is because toward the end of his life, a medium, he communed with a medium who told him, actually, don't go left, go right.
Yeah.
So
go away from what should have been the cave where the pirates and presumably the treasure.
So they started digging right, and they kept digging right. He died. His son continued for like another 18 to 20 years, something like that, until he died. And obviously, they never found the treasure. The city of Lynn purchased the land in the late 1800s, and they turned it into this really beautiful preserve. I guess it's not a preserve, it's just a park, but...
It's a preserve.
It's a preserve. Well, they call them reservations.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. But purchased this beautiful land. And now we have Dungeon Rock to go in, however dangerous that might be. right, how was that?
It's good.
I'm
Yeah, we're covered in dirt. You're pretty sweaty.
I'm a little, yeah, it was cold in the cave. We could see we could see everything, but I'm like, I'm not sure if you could see that.
It was like a winter's morning though.
I'm sweaty. It was good though. It was fun.
Yeah, the lights worked really well.
Yes, we brought lights. I'm very glad, because you can't do this with just a cell phone. We've tried, and it doesn't work because there's not enough light coming off of a cell phone. And for no reason at all, now we're topside of everything. That's it down there. Well, sort of, the other side of that rock. And I guess, presumably, roughly here, if we were to go straight down, is where that treasure would be.
Presumably.
Yeah. Here's my only criticism of the entire plan. I mean, I guess, well, you could argue why did someone, you know, give their fortune to mediums and spend an entire life digging, but really my criticism is just how much treasure could one pirate actually have taken
that would be worth
all that?
Like decades of your life.
Your entire life.
Well, you know, I'm sure that they thought, oh, well, I'll do this for like a year or so, and then I'll find it. And then, you know, 50 years later, they're like, ah, that was a waste.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a waste. Maybe he had fun.
I doubt it.
So, I feel like the lesson at Dungeon Rock is maybe it's okay to give up on your dreams. Sometimes. Healthy, even, because Hiram could have had an entire life. His son could have had an entire life that wasn't digging in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And also maybe trust your sources. Maybe get second opinions. I don't know how many mediums he had, or if he had mediums that cross-checked or cross-referenced mediums, but...
Maybe actually consult with geologists instead of mediums.
Or maybe Thomas didn't want to be found.
Maybe.
And that whole...
Yeah, he wants to hang out with his treasure forever.
That whole misdirect thing was intentional. Either way, pretty sure Hiram would have lived a better life if he hadn't tried digging for treasure.
I mean, dude had enough money to buy the land and then spend $1,500 in that time period digging before doing anything.
All of his money.
Exactly, so he could have done something else.
He could have cured cancer. Damn it, Hiram.